Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Postman API workshop organized by the IEEE Computer Society Student Branch Chapter of IIT. My name is Chaturindya Alves, and I have the privilege of being your moderator for today's session. We extend a warm welcome to all our participants, and your presence here today adds tremendous value to this workshop. Before we begin the session, let me tell about Postman and why learning it is so beneficial. Postman is an essential tool for anyone working with APIs. It simplifies API testing, streamlining the process of sending requests, receiving responses, and troubleshooting issues. With its automation capabilities, Postman saves time and effort by enabling the creation of automated test scripts and fostering collaboration among developers and testers. It is also facilitates the documentation of APIs, offers mock server functionality, and provides monitoring features. Learning Postman is a valuable skill for enhancing API development and testing efficiency, making it an indispensable asset for tech professionals. It is now my pleasure to introduce our knowledgeable speaker for today's session, Postman Student Expert, Hasala Abhilasha, with a wealth of experience in this field. We are fortunate to have him guide us through this workshop and share his expertise. So, without further delay, I would like to invite Mr. Hasala to take the virtual stage and share his expertise with all of us. Hasala, over to you.
Thank you, Chatuni, for the wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to API 101 with Postman. So this is an introductory workshop for APIs and Postman. And you don't need any prior knowledge to continue this. All right. Yeah. First of all, I'll introduce myself, right? I'm Hasal Abhilasha. I'm a Postman Student Expert. And you can use this social media handle to find me on any social media, right? So, yeah. So you don't need any prior knowledge, right? Previously what I said, yeah. So I need to do this as an interactive session, right? I need your some feedback from you during this session, right? Let's make an interactive session. So before we start, give me a thumbs up to show you an active participant. Right, you can use Zoom reactions to do that. Yeah, I'll need to see some reactions. Yeah, nice. 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 I need to see some more. Right. Nice. Yeah, come on, guys. Be active. Yeah, nice. 17, 13. Yeah, nice. Great. Let's start. Today's agenda will be a very simple one, right? You can see. So first we are going to get an introduction to APIs and Postman. Then we are going to discuss how to make an API request and get a response, right? After that, we move to our practical session. In that session, we are going to trying out some things, right? So at the end, I'm going to give you some follow-up learning resources as well. So yeah, At the end, we also have an Q&A session, right? So during this session, I will announce some challenges as well. So from those challenges, you have a chance to win some awesome swags from Postman, right? Yeah, keep in touch for that. All right. Who heard this API word at least one time, right? At least one time. If you heard this before, put yes in the chat, right? Don't worry, I'm not going to ask any questions from you, right? Please put yes if you heard this before, right? Nice. Oh, really nice, guys. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Nice. Before we get into a formal definition, I'll get a real world scenario to explain this one. So this is an digital restaurant. We have a customer, we have a waiter, and we have kitchen, right? Think if I need to eat some food, what should I do, right? I go to restaurant, then waiter gets my order and places that order in the kitchen, right? After that, kitchen will prepare my order and give it back to the waiter, and waiter give it back to me, right? That's what happens. In that case, waiter act like an API, right? Because you can see I don't have a direct connection with the kitchen, right? The waiter is like a middleman, right? API is this kind of a thing. So you can see an image of a simple client server architecture, right? You can see client makes a request and server gives a response. In between these two, we have an API to handle this process, right? This is like previous restaurant example, right? Previous example, we have a customer. This time we have client side. Previous example, we have kitchen. Now we have this server side, right? You can see API and waiter is both similar, right? You can see. All right. This is, you can get a rough idea from this one, right? Yeah. Now we can get a formal definition for APIs, right? What is an API and why should I use one, right? That's a good question. Who do people here know what does API stand for, right? I need to see some feedback. What does API stand for? Nice. Duran, correct? Guys, please respond. Yeah. Yeah. Now I can see Vinod and Sahan. Yeah, correct. Correct. Yeah, nice. API stands for Application Programming Interface, right? You can see it allows services to communicate with each other. What does that mean, right? Codes can communicate each other using APIs, right? The advantage of this, you can see software has become more complex and collaborative over the years, and developers no longer need to create every service from scratch. What does that mean, right? Think if you are building an application, you don't need to build everything from scratch, right? You can use some existing services through APIs, right? And you can build new things. That's the advantage. For example, if your app needs to show some weather forecast, you can use a weather API to get that service into your app, right? That's really easy. And yeah, otherwise you need to send weather balloons, and the process will very complex, right? And the waste of time and money. Yeah. You can see API allow developers to access data from a service without any knowledge of how the code base has been implemented, right? If I use an API, I don't know how the code base has been implemented in that service, right? It's not required. But you can use that service from that app, right? Yeah. So now we can move forward to a little bit technical, right? Do you guys use Instagram? Right? Put it in the chat, yes or no? Yeah, put it in the chat. Right? Nice. I know. Oh, someone no. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, most of them use that, right? Temporarily deactivated. Nice. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Okay, I use it too, right? So think if I need to post a story, what should I do? Right? What should I do? I open the Instagram app and capture a story and post it, right? That's what happens. In that case, Instagram app will communicate with your camera module, right? With then support of an hardware API, right? Then I hit post, it will send to the server, right? Yeah. In that process also, we have an API in between these two. Okay. After that, my followers can see my story, right? My followers can see my story. Yeah, that's the beauty of API. You can see how the process going on, right? Yeah. All right. Next to what we have. Yeah. There is an API for everything, right? What does that mean? And what does that mean? API for everything, right? Yeah, we use hundreds of APIs in our day-to-day life, right? Day-to-day life. And I tell a popular one, yeah, Google Authentication API. It's a very popular one, right? We use plenty of times in a single day to sign in, sign up. Yeah. Now, yeah, we have another popular APIs in these days are generative APIs, generative AI APIs, right? Some of them are OpenAI's API, right? Palm 2 API from Google, right? Those are very popular these days. All right. Spotify, Twitter, Facebook, Google also provide some APIs, right, to use their services for developers. All right. APIs turn software into Lego bricks, right? What does that mean? You know, those plastic blocks that you can put together to create new things, right? You can see these are building blocks and we have a final product. With the support of APIs, we can do this in software development too, right? For example, if I build an application using a weather API, Google Map API, Google Authentication API, right? Something like that. It's like a Lego creation, right? Because I integrated a couple of services into my app, right? And build a new app, right? Without knowing the code implementation, right? It's very easy and very useful because you don't need to reinvent the wheel, but right, you can use it and you can create new things. That's the beauty of APIs. It's a very good for current software development industry because now we have very complex requirements, right? You can't build everything from scratch. Okay, we talked about Postman. We talked about APIs. Now let's talk about Postman, right? Now let's talk about Postman. Actually, Postman is a collaborative API development platform, right? You can see it allows developers to create, test, and run APIs, right? So, and also Postman also an industry standard tool as well. So you will probably use this in your future workspace. All right, you can see the numbers, right? 98% of Fortune 500 organizations use Postman, right? Some of your day-to-day applications as well, PayPal, Uber, right? So you can see, right? It's used by more than 500,000 organizations as well as over 13 million developers use Postman, right? Those are big numbers, right? Yeah. Don't worry about Postman. We'll be doing some hands-on things with Postman later in this session, right? Don't worry about that. All right. Before Postman's arrival, we use something called curl commands, right? We use something called curl commands to do these things. But now we can do these things with the user-friendly environment thanks to Postman, right? You can see the complexity difference between curl commands and Postman, right? Actually, as a beginner, it's a really good way to learn about APIs without having fear of these commands, right? You can see the how simple is Postman, right? It's really simple interface. Yeah. So now we are on a very important topic. Why? Right. Now we are in request and responses topic. This is very important topic. Let's see why it is important. Right. In earlier this session, right? In earlier this session, I talked a little bit about this one, right? Right. Guys, please mute yourself. Don't unmute. Right. Right. We talked a little bit about this one. Yeah, you can see an image, right? Client makes a request over the network to API, and guys, please mute yourself. Please turn off your microphones, right? It's very disturbing. Yeah. Yeah. You can see client makes a request over the network to the API, and server gives a response to the API, and API give it back to client over the network, right? This is what we call a request response pattern, right? So yeah, this network can be a local network or internet, whatever. That's perfectly fine. Internet is not required for APIs, okay? It's a type of API, right? Yeah. All right. Let's see how to interact with an API, right? We are going to make an API request, right? Yeah. If you are going to make an API request, we need 3 ingredients in your request, right? The first one is method. The second one is address, and we also call as a endpoint. It's like a URL, right? It's a URL, not a complex thing, right? The third one is the path, right? These 3 ingredients are very important, right? Yeah, let's see. Here you can see, first we have to choose a method. First we have to choose a method, right? These are HTTP methods, right? We use get method to retrieve information, post method to send information, and put or patch method used to update information. And we use a delete method to delete information, right? Yeah. After that, you need to specify the host and the path, right? Host and the path. Let's see. Yeah. First, we have the, in this URL, first we have our protocol. This time I use a HTTPS protocol. After that, we have host and the path. Host means the address of the server, right? And the path is the destination where your request can be heard and executed, right? So don't worry, we look forward to that in our hands-on session, right? Let's move forward. Other than those 3 ingredients, we need to specify some more details as well, right? These details are not mandatory. These details are not mandatory because these things will depend on your API and the request type, right? Okay. So yeah, before looking to these things, I will show you some hands-on things with this one, right? With Postman. Don't worry about the speed of this hands-on session because this is not your practical session. We do all the things very slowly in our later in this session. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. So this is the interface that have you seen in the slides, right? This is the interface that have you seen in the slides. So first we have to choose a method, right? You can see these are HTTP methods. I choose get method. Then I have to enter my URL. That's my endpoint, right? This is what we call the endpoint. Then I hit send. Now you can see I received an HTML document, right? HTML document. This is this response given by the server, right? This response is given by the server. This is my response. All right. Now I click preview. You can see this is a normal HTML, normal Google search window, right? You can see it's a normal Google search window. Now I need to use this application. I mean Google search, right? I need to search something in Google. What can I do, right? I have the method and I have the host address. What is the missing part, right? What is the missing part to use this application? Tell me, put it in the chat. What is the missing part? I have method and I have host address. What is the missing part? Put it in the chat, guys. Yeah, Situm, yeah, correct. Metna, correct. Yeah, correct. Punjita, correct. Yeah, Ishan, correct. Yeah, it's path, right? It's path. Like I previously said, we need to mention the path, right? In this case, I add path as my, in this case, my path is search. I add the path. Now I send it again. Oh, what happens? Right? Nothing happens, right? Nothing happens. Because in this case, we have to specify some more details other than previous main three ingredients, right? Yeah. In this case, if I need to use this application, I need to mention the path and some parameters as well. In this case, my parameter is q, right? My parameter is q. Select params and I select, I add q as my key and my value is Postman. Actually, this value means what I am going to search in Google, right? I am going to search Postman in Google. Yeah. Don't worry about these paths, parameters, and things because these details are given by the API developers, right? We don't have to think much about these things, right? These things are given by the API developers, right? Now I hit send. Now you can see this is the response what I got, and you can see this is just a normal search results window, right? This is a normal search results window. And we have something special here. In the response, we have status 200 OK. What does that mean? This comes with the response. Standard response for successful HTTP request, right? That means my request is successfully executed, right? All right. Let's go back to our slides. In some cases, you have to specify these details in your request, right? The first one is parameters, the second one is authorization, and the last one is headers and body. Can someone say, what is the parameter I used in Google search request? Put it in the chat. What is the parameter which I used in Google search request? What is the parameter? Put it in the chat. What is the parameter? Yeah. That's correct. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I need to see some more responses. Nice. Yeah. All the participants are active. Very nice. Nice. Yeah, it's Q. So authorization means that all APIs are not open to public access, right? Most of them restrict to some users, right? In that process, we can use an authorization method to control this access, right? For example, we use some method called API keys, right? To control this access. Yeah, you may heard that word, right? API key, right? Don't worry, today we are not going to talk about authorization, right? This is a beginner workshop and authorization is not a big deal, but we are not going to talk about that today, right? Yeah. Headers and body. headers are the place we add our metadata. And body will carry our data of the request, I mean data payload, right? Let's see in our previous request, you can see we have six headers, but I haven't added anything, but we have six hidden, right? You can see auto-generated headers. These are some auto-generated headers. You can see host and user agent and some things, right? And this is the body, but we don't have a body in here, right? In this request, right? Let's move forward. All right. Request body, the data payload. What is that, right? This is actually optional one. This is often used with the post and put request, right? It allows plenty of data types, right? Like form data, JSON, text, HTML, XML, files, GraphQL, and many more, right? You can see, right, form data, and if you click this row, and you can see we have many data types, right? So yeah. You can see a JSON example, right? JSON means JavaScript object notation, right? You can see an example. Yeah. This is the other important part. It is responses, right? In responses also we have three parts, right? Three parts. First one is status codes, right? This is the response which shows what happened to your request, right? What happened to your request. In previous example, you can see 200 OK. That means my request has been successfully executed, right? You can see standard response for successful HTTP request, right? And also we have 201 created, and the most popular one is 404 not found, right? It's a very popular. Everyone knows that, right? So headers means the metadata, right? And it also has an body, right? You can see these are our headers. We have 12 headers, like date, right? The server, and you know the meta things, right? Content type, and this is our body. Actually, this is a HTML document, right? This is the browser rendered preview, but this is the original response, right? Okay, right. Now we arrived at our hands-on session. So I highly recommend you to do this session with me to get the best out of it, okay? Before we start, I will give you a 5 minutes break, right? I'll give you a 5 minutes break. In that break, you have to sign up for postman.com, and you can make a free account, right? You can make a free account. Actually, I recommend you to use Google sign up for that. It will help you to sign up in a couple of seconds, right? So this is not the link, right? This is the API link. I'll hide that. It is not the link. The organizing committee will also send the link to the chat and your WhatsApp group as well. So you can sign up. If you have account, you don't need to sign up. You can simply sign in. But if you don't have account, please sign up and create a free account. All right. See you in 5 minutes, right? See you in 5 minutes. I hope all of you will create an account, right? See you in 5 minutes. All right, guys, did you create your account? Please raise your hand if you complete it. And if you need some more time, put a message on the chat. Yeah, 23, 20, okay, yeah, 36, yeah, 40. Yeah, I need to see some more people. Guys, if you complete it, please raise your hand. I can count them. Yeah, 56, good number. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 75. Let's see. Come on, guys. I need to see some more raise of hands. Yeah. Right. 79. Yeah. All right. That's a good number. Yeah. We have 80. 80 plus. That's a good number. Yeah. Let's continue. So, yeah. Let's start. Now, the organizing committee will share another link, right? This link. That is the API which we are going to use today, right? This API was made by the Postman team for our workshop. So yeah, you can use this link. Yeah, organizing committee will share that link. Yeah, they'll share. Okay, guys, click on that link. I will click to. Right. Yeah. So after you open the given link, you can see this kind of a window, right? You see this kind of a window. If not, please check if you correctly signed to your account or not, right? Yeah, are you guys okay? Yeah, I hope everyone is okay. Yeah, I think. Yeah, this is what we call a workspace, right? This is what we call a workspace. Yeah, I see. Yeah, now you can lower your raise hands. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Okay. This is what we call a workspace. This one is made by the Postman team for our workshop. So now we can now today we can use this workspace, right? So we are going to interact with the given APIs. For that, we need to make API request, right? You can see a couple of collections on your left side, right? You can see a couple of collections on your left side. So collection is an organized way to save your API request, right? Yeah. This is a very useful feature, comes with Postman, right? You can see I already have one request here. All right, today we are going to use the first one called Basics of API. Click on that collection, right? Now you can see an option called fork, right? Click on that. It is like a GitHub fork, right? It is like a GitHub fork. Forking means we can make our own copy of this original collection into our workspace, right? So because we can't do edits in this workshop because we don't have permission to do that, we need to get a copy of this into our workspace, right? So now you need to give a name to this fork, right? I will use today's date, 30th of September. 2023. All right. But you can use any name, right? You don't need to use this name. You can use any name, right? After that, you have to select a workspace. By default, they will select something called My Workspace. You don't need to change that one. I use My Workspace too. So yeah, you have something called notification. Untick that one. You don't need it. And you can fork the collection. All right, now you can see this window. Are you guys complete up to now? Put it in the chat. Put yes in the chat. If you complete up to now. Yes. All right, nice. I need some more responses, guys. Okay, nice. Great. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So let's move forward. Before interact within an API, first you need to read the API documentation, right? Sometimes you may heard this word, API documentation. It's like a guide, right? It's like a guide. Let's see. Click on these three dots, right? Click on these three dots. Scroll down, and you can see an option called view documentation, right? View documentation. So yeah, this is what we call API documentation. This is a proper guide. This is a proper guideline given by the API developers, right? Every API have this kind of documentation. So you must follow this documentation to use an API, right? All right. Now you can see endpoint URL, right? These are our endpoint URL, and we have three given paths. Each path belongs to a unique API, right? You can see Jokes API, Quote API, Books API, right? I explained these endpoints and paths in the slides, right? So now we are going to use those things. Okay. First we have Jokes API. Then second we have Quotes API. And the third one is Books API. Yeah. What do you guys like? I will continue with the highest one. I like the Joke API. Let's see. Put it in the chat. Jokes API. Oh, nice. Joke. Yeah. Yeah. Most of them like Jokes API. Yeah. Nice. I need to see some more responses. Nice. Yeah. Obviously, Joke. Yeah. That's good. My life is a joke. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I will go with Jokes API because everyone likes it. Yeah. So now my endpoint and path is ready. Right now, my endpoint and path is ready. Let's make our first API request. Right. Scroll down. You can see making a request for Joke API with the /joke path. Okay. This base URL means our endpoint URL, right? Don't care about that. So yeah, yeah. You can see by default we have 6 jokes with ID 1 to 6, right? By default we have 6 jokes in here. To get a random joke, use base URL /joke. That means endpoint URL /joke. To get a specific joke, you can use base URL /joke/ID of the joke, right? You can see an example here, right? Yeah. Let's make an API request. Click on this get data, right? This is a GET request. Click on that. Yeah. Remove this one. Yeah. Go back to your API documentation. You can easily switch between these two. These are like a browser tab bar, right? Switch back to API documentation and click copy this endpoint URL. Go back to your request and paste. So now my method and path host is ready. Now we have to add our path, right? So my path is Joe, right? So to get a random joke, we can use base URL /Joe. Let's see. Guys, remember, you can save your request of, yeah, this is a good practice. After you enter something, you can save it. Right. I hit send. Okay, now I received a random joke. I received the second joke, right? Yeah, let's read the joke, right? Question and answer, right? Question is what is a hardware, right? The part of the computer which you can keep. That's a good joke. Actually, these jokes are given by the API Postman team, right? Those are not my jokes, right? This is the second joke. I received the second joke, right? Let's hit send again. Now I received the fifth joke because this endpoint used to received a random joke, right? So I received the fifth joke, right? Bugs are features. Yeah, that's a good joke, right? Yeah. So let's try to get a specific joke, right? Go back to your documentation. Actually, please follow this documentation because this is the only guide we have, right? So to get a specific joke, you can use base URL /joke /ID of the joke, right? We have 1 to 6 IDs, right? I used 4 here, right? I add 4, save and save. Actually, saving is not required, right? You can send it. All right. Now you can see I received the fourth joke, right? Joke is first rule of programming. If it is work, don't touch it, right? That's a good joke, very good joke. Right? Yeah. Okay. So yeah. You can do this too, guys. I'll give you a couple of seconds. You can try it out. And after you complete, you can put yes on the chat, right? Yeah, let's see how many people did this. Yeah, nice. Nice. Yeah, nice. So yeah, guys, you can add yes in the chat. Nice. You can try it for a couple of times because you can receive a random joke every time, right? Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's move forward. Let's see how to make a post request, right? With this method, you can send the joke, right? This is the best part, right? We are going to send the joke. Click on these 3 dots, scroll down, and you can see a feature, right? Add request, right? Click on that. I will add a name, add joke, right? Now you can select a method, right? This is a post request. I select post, and yeah. Then go back to API documentation, scroll down, you can see post request. To send a new job, use base URL / job, right? So for that, I need my endpoint URL. And yeah, I copy this endpoint URL and paste it here. And I add my path, right? Now I hit send. What happens, right? What happens? 400 bad requests. That means my request uh, hasn't successfully executed, right? You can see over that, you can see the request cannot be fulfilled due to this bad request. Bad syntax, right? Bad syntax. Yeah, you can see also response, right? Message author not sent, joke not sent. That means we haven't added a joke, right? We haven't added a joke because this is a post request. We need to send some data payload, right? But we haven't added anything. Go back to your API documentation and you can see add the body to your request in the body tab and select JSON from the drop down, right? We have an example here. Copy this example, click here and copy. Go back to your post request, click on this body, right? Now we can see we have a couple of data types. Click row and now we have a drop down. Click on that and you can select JSON, right? Right. Now you can paste the example, right? All right. So yeah, I add my name here. My name is Hasal Abhilash. And you can add your name, right? You can add your name. Don't change the job this time because we go with the default job because in our next request, in our put request, we are going to update this job, right? At this time, you can add your name and remember the ID. I will show you what is an ID, right? All right. Don't need to change the source. Now I save it and I'll send that. You can see 201 created. 201 created, right? That means my request has been successfully executed and I received the ID too, right? You can see 4064 is my ID. Let's see. Now you can do this too. I'll give you a couple of time, yeah, I give you a minute, right? That's enough. Yeah, you can see, right? So many people add their name here. Very nice, right? That's really good thing. Let's see some of name, right? You can see my jokes as well. Some people haven't changed the default name, right? Yeah. So yeah, you can see the names, right? Nice. I'll give you more. Yeah, I'll give you one more minute. No, couple of seconds, right? That's enough. You can try this out, guys. Let's see. Yeah, nice. I think that's enough time to add your names, right? Guys, please remember your ID, right? Because in the next request, we need your ID, jokes ID, right? Yeah. All right. So let's move forward. Yes. Now we have to make a put request to update our job, right? Update our job. This is the time to see some creative techie people, right? Add some techie jokes, right? So yeah, let's see how to make a put request, right? So click on these three dots and click add request. Now you can rename it as update joke, right? Update joke. Then select put as your method type. So go back to your documentation, API documentation, scroll down to update an existing joke, use base URL / joke and copy this example. These are like previous post request, right? Go to body and select row and select JSON and paste. All right. I haven't added the endpoint URL. Let's add that, right? It's a big mistake, right? Yeah. All right. Let's add my endpoint URL and my path. All right. Now I have to add my ID, right? Let's see my ID, 4064, right? Let's add that one. And my name here. Sorry. Guys, actually, you don't need to add this URL again and again. Postman have a feature called as variables, right? But I'm not going to talk about it today, but right? Yeah. So let's add a joke here. All right, I'm going to replace my joke. Okay, sorry. Think, yeah. Now it's fine. And I'm going to send it. Okay. Right, I'm going to send it. Let's see. All right, you can see I received the status code 204, no content. That means it's a successful code. 200 range means success full code, full status codes, right? All right, you can see the server successfully proceeded the request, but is not returning any content, right? You can see I haven't returned any content. That's why it says no content. All right. Now now it's time, your time, right? You can add some jokes here, right? You can update your previous joke with a new creative techie joke, right? I'll give you I'll give you a minute, right? I'll give you a minute. You can update your joke, and I'll give you a minute. All right. Let's see what we have. Right. Yeah. All right. I think that time is enough. Right. Time is enough to do that. Let's see. Yes, we have so many jokes, right? Yeah, we have so many jokes. Yeah, that's very good, guys. I didn't expect that much of a response from you, right? It's a really good number. Yeah. Right. Thank you so much, guys, for the interaction because, yeah, it is really important for a workshop. Yes. Let's go back to our Postman. Now this is the time to delete our uh, joke, right? For that, we need to make a delete request, right? This is our last request, right? So yeah, click on these three dots and click add request. Right? I'll name it as delete joke. Right? The method is delete. Go back to your documentation. Scroll down. To delete a joke, use base URL slash joke slash ID of the joke, right? Let's see what is my ID. Yeah, 4064. You can use your ID, guys, right? Don't use my ID. You can use your ID. And I'll copy my endpoint URL. Actually, this is a waste of time. You don't need to copy each and every time because you can use variable feature, but I'm not going to use it today. And I'll add my ID here, 4064. I think that's my ID. Yeah. Yeah. I'll save it and click delete. So you can see 200 okay, right? That means my request has been successfully executed, right? Joke with ID 4064 is deleted, right? That means my request successfully executed. Right. Now time to delete your joke as well, right? Let's see. I'll give you a minute to delete your joke, right? You can follow this structure. Don't use my ID. You can use your ID, right? Yeah. All right, that's about it. And now we are back to slides. So, yeah, what did we learn today? Right? What did we learn today? Right? We learned to request. We learned request essentials and how to send a request and how to get a response and how to update and so many things. Right? We learn about methods, addresses, parameters, authorizations, but haven't used authorization. Yeah, body data, right? We learned so many things. Now you have a good understanding about APIs and Postman. So yeah, you can be a Postman student expert like me, right? Actually, this is a really good way to show your API literacy, right? This certification is very helpful for your career as well. So yeah, you can see student expert certification indicates that you are a proficient in the essential skills involved in building and testing API requests in Postman, right? Right. Yeah. We will give you the registration link to this program, right? The organizing committee will also send the link to Zoom chat and WhatsApp group as well. So register today and become a certified expert, right? After you certified, you post your certification on LinkedIn and don't forget to tag me as well, right? My username is Hustle Online. So I really like to see your achievements, right? Yeah. Now this is the time to announce the challenges, right? From these challenges, you have a chance to win some awesome swags from Postman, right? So the first challenge is a really easy one, right? You have to make a post on LinkedIn or Twitter, right? You need to write a summary of this session, all right? So about what you learned today, right? And you can add some posters and screenshots as well. So don't forget to add this hashtag Postman Student, and also you can tag me as well, right? So my username is Hustle Online. You can tag me. You only have 24 hours to do this. Okay, you only have 24 hours. The second challenge is not a hard one, but it is harder than the previous one. So actually, you have to write a blog post about what you learned during this session. But this is need to be more descriptive and creative because this is not like a LinkedIn post, right? You can use any platform you like, right? Such as Medium, Dev.to, whatever. So don't forget to use these hashtags, right? And we will give you a form to collect your blog links and your post links, right? For this challenge, you have 48 hours to complete this, right? Yeah. Good luck, right? Yeah. So these are some resources to learn about APIs and Postman, right? So learning.postman.com and explore.postman.com, and we also have a community forum, community.postman.com, right? All right. Now this is the time for Q&A session, right? You can ask any questions related to this session, okay? Put your questions in the given Padlet. If you have a question other than this session, I will give you answers through my email. I'm really happy to help you for everything, right? But now we have a limited time, right? You can add questions related to this session, what we covered today, right? So let's see. Where we can find the workshop slides and recordings. The recordings will be uploaded to the YouTube, and we can, yeah, the answer is given, right? So, yeah, can Yeah, yeah. All right. Can I know from where you got the ID for the put request? Yeah. Okay, I'll show you. I'll get the ID from the response which I got from my post request, right? I posted joke, no. After that, I received a ID, right? You can see this one, right? It comes from the response of the post request, right? Okay, I think it's okay. I'll wait a couple of minutes. Yeah, probably you will get the recordings soon. Yeah, I need to talk to organizing committee for that. Actually, you can directly contact the organizing committee, right? They will help you. How long this program be? What do you mean? What is the program? Right? What kind of sacks do we get? Yeah, that's a good question, but it's a surprise, right? Those are given by the Postman, right? Officially, for you can win those sacks from Postman. They said they are going to surprise you, right? But it's a valuable swag, right? That's what I can say. Can't see. Yeah, some questions. Yeah, I can't find what I answered. Right. Yeah, I can continue this workshop series. Right. I have another 3 or 4 workshops. Right. I can continue this series. It depends on your feedback. Right. It depends on your feedback. You can put a feedback on. I'll give you a feedback form. Right. It will depend on the. It will depend on your feedback. Right. Yeah, I definitely try to host another couple of workshops. I think the time is enough to ask questions, right? Right. Okay. Thank you for your participation, right? And you can fill out this feedback form, right? Uh, yeah, please fill out this form. The organizing committee will also send this link to your WhatsApp group and Zoom chat as well. Yeah, if you have any questions we didn't cover, you can email me at hustler002@gmail.com. I'll very happy to help you. So yeah, that's about it. Over to you, Chatani.
Thank you, Hustler, for sharing your valuable knowledge and expertise with our delegates. Before we conclude today's session, a big thank you to all participants. Your active participation has made this workshop enriching. We hope you gained valuable insight today that you can apply in your projects. Keep exploring and innovating. Stay connected with us on social media for more exciting workshops and events. Thank you for being a part of this Postman API workshop. Let's continue to explore and excel in technology together. Before we end today's meeting, I have a special announcement for you all. If you are willing to do volunteering in IEEE CS, you can join it using the link in the Zoom chat. Thank you all for your great time and have a nice day.